Pro-life and pro-family leaders are vowing to fight for the freedom of conscience in Illinois, despite legislation signed by Governor Bruce Rauner.
We are reviewing all options, all legal options, with doctors and medical personnel across the state.
Emily Zender with Illinois Right to Life warns that by signing Senate Bill 1564 into law, the governor will be forcing medical professionals and pregnancy centers to promote abortion.
Pro-life people cannot comply.
The law, which is backed by Planned Parenthood, is set to take effect January 1st, but it faces a legal challenge in a suit filed against the governor by the Alliance Defending Freedom.
It's unconstitutional. It's forcing pro-life doctors and nurses to speak something that disagrees with their conscience.
ADF claims the measure violates the state constitution and state law. Allied attorney Noel Sterrett predicts that if it takes effect, it will likely break federal law as well.
That provides protections for pro-life and medical professionals, and I think ultimately the people will say this is something that shouldn't have been signed into law.
Mr. Sterrett with the Malcolm Baker Law Firm in Chicago is representing Sandra Mendoza in a lawsuit against the Winnebago County Health Department. The pediatric nurse was forced out of her job at the agency after she refused to give referrals for abortions or hand out drugs that cause abortions.
Hopefully, more and more pro-life doctors, nurses, pharmacists will stand up and say, no, enough, we can't have this, and let their voices be heard during the election.
Meantime, U.S. Representative Randy Hultgren says the freedom of conscience must be safeguarded, and that's why the 14th District lawmaker is one of the co-sponsors of the Conscience Protection Act. The federal legislation awaits a vote in the U.S. Senate.
What this legislation that passed the House does is recognize that we need to protect that right of conscience, that right to believe and to act on that belief.
Do you think this legislation is especially needed here in Illinois?
I do. I think it's needed all over the place, but yes, I do think I'm nervous, and we're seeing encroachments on our freedom of conscience here in Illinois, as other states have done as well. California has kind of taken the lead on much of this. So this is an important step.
Call U.S. Senators Richard Durbin and Mark Kirk and ask them to vote for the Conscience Protection Act. The U.S. Capitol switchboard number is 202-224-3121.